Well, hello everyone, and Happy New Year. It's not New Year's yet by the time I'm recording this, but it will be by the time you see this, so Happy New Year. We are going to be meeting a new character today, one I'm very excited about. So let's get started. Chapter 12, Aster. A merry bell jingled as I pushed open the door to Melia's apothecary. As Talia and I stepped inside, the strong smell of drying herbs hit me. It might have been eye-watering to a lesser individual, but Adyen and I were in and out of here all the time. I'd gotten so used to it that it barely bothered me anymore. The door swung shut, and Melia herself looked up from the bundles of herbs she was tying. Her face, framed by gray hair tied into a neat bun at the nape of her neck, crinkled into a bright smile when she saw me. "Aster," she said. Her smile slipped into a frown. "Where's your brother? You never come in without him." That wasn't quite true. There had been occasions when I'd been quite sick, and Adyen had gone to Melia for medicine, but she was right. Somehow, this was the first time I'd ever set foot in this shop without him. Just another brutal reminder of Adyen's absence. I drew in a sharp breath and tried to ignore the question. I didn't want to tell Melia what had happened. I didn't want to see that pain transfer to her. Instead, I tried to get right to the point. "We wanted to talk to you." She nodded and once more busied her hands with the herb tying. "Would you like to help me, dearie? Many hands make light work, and we can talk while we work." "Of course," Talia said before I could try anything like refusing. "We'll be glad to." "Thank you." Melia smiled at her. We moved behind the counter alongside her, and I accepted the piece of string that Melia handed to me. Picking up a bunch of herbs that looked like they all belonged to the same plant, I wrapped the string around their stems and tied it firmly. Beside me, Talia copied my movements. "So, what are you here for?" Melia asked once we were all underway. "We were wondering what you know about the Dark Hearts." I cringed as soon as the words were out. It sounded a little like I was accusing her of associating with them, which I honestly doubted. But what was done, and if it got us information, then so be it. "The Dark Hearts?" Melia made a sucking noise with her mouth. "Not more than the average person, I'm afraid. I know it's best to steer clear of them at all costs, and to not get on their bad side if you do run into them. Why do you want to know?" "Just interested," I tried, but I knew that wasn't going to be helpful. Melia eyed me shrewdly. "I think it's more than that. What are you up to now, Aster? It better not involve those nasty men." Nothing for it. I had to tell her the truth. I fixed my eyes on my work before opening my mouth. "I'm afraid it does, Melia. You asked me earlier where Adyen was. I'm sorry, but they killed him. The Dark Hearts killed my brother, and I need to find the man who did it so I can make him pay." My hands tightened around the herbs I held, and I found them turning to ash and crumbling through my fingers. A cold shiver ran through me, and I dropped my hands. "Sorry." Sometimes my power liked to pop out at random times like this and embarrass me. It wasn't the same as a full presentation, less dangerous, but it was still annoying. "It's all right." Melia bustled around and swiped the ashes into a bucket that she put back under the counter. When she straightened, she wrapped her arms around me and squeezed me in a hug. "Oh, honey, I'm so sorry to hear about Adyen. He was a good lad." I I resisted the urge to wiggle out of Melia's grasp. Yes. Yes, he was. The pain stabbed at me again. I pushed it down. She held on to me for a moment longer, holding tight, before she finally let me go and turned to offer her condolences to Talia. Inhaling deeply, I picked up another stack of herbs and went back to work. She raised us both after we lost our parents. It had been a long time since we were last under her care, but she'd been like a second mother to us. Finally, Malia herself started again to work on dividing the herbs. I understand your loss, but revenge isn't going to gain you anything. You're just going to get yourself into trouble as well. Oh, you don't even know half the situation. I fought not to lose control again and kill yet another set of herbs. Leah, with all due respect, you weren't there. You don't know what happened that night. They murdered Adyen. Lars Alfred can't be allowed to get away with this. Perhaps so, but not by you, Malia said gently. He will receive his retribution in due time. That's not only what this is about. Please, I dropped my voice. Is there anything you can tell us about the Dark Hearts? Anything at all? Malia hesitated, then sighed. I can't tell you much. I don't think I've ever seen a member come through the doors of my shop. But there is one thing. I perked up. Yes? I don't know for sure if it's related to the Dark Hearts at all, but you asked me to tell you everything I know. Sometimes, while I'm in the marketplace, I've seen a man hanging around. Always the same man. And inevitably, he's met by another man. And they go into a tavern together, probably to converse. It happens far too regularly not to mean something. That's definitely something to check out. I perked up. This sounded like it could yield some fruit. What time are they usually around? Every other day, around noon, Melia said. Thank you so much. I dropped the herbs and darted around the corner to the door. Come on, Talia. But, she started. I grabbed her wrist and yanked her after me. Throwing a quick wave over my shoulder, I hustled us both out back onto the street. Aster, Talia gasped. We should have at least stayed and helped her finish. There's no time, I said. We have to get there in time to witness the meeting. I started down the street toward the central market, my skirt swishing hurriedly around my ankles. Talia huffed out a loud sigh, but followed me nonetheless. We ran, being propelled onward by the hope of a lead after the disappointment of yesterday, and Talia just behind me. People blurred past us, but I wasn't about to stop for anything. The great clock that sat in the exact center of the city began to chime distantly. I skidded to a stop so I could listen. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's noon, I shouted. We have to hurry. I know that, Talia said, and off we went again. The market wasn't that far off, and a few minutes later we arrived. Tall posts, lit by tall lanterns, cast a bright glow over the place, making it generally brighter than the rest of the city. You could see people's faces clearly, without them being half hidden in gloom. Brightly colored canopies sat over vendors' stalls, marking each of them out as a distinctive seller. Here, everything from food to beaded necklaces to slaves could be bought, and so it was frequented by almost everyone in Broton. Adyen and I came here once a week for what food we could buy with our meager papya. Which reminded me. Talia took my hand. There's a lot of people here. It's not going to be easy to find the one we want. I know, I replied, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. I forged my way into the marketplace. Besides, when was the last time we went shopping? Okay, you're right, we do need to get some food, Talia conceded as she allowed me to drag her forward. I kept my eye out on the passing shoppers, ranging from mothers who darted from one stall to the next, keeping a firm eye on their surroundings even as they shopped, to men who strode around like they owned the place. I scanned each one as they passed, wondering if one of them was the man we sought. How had Malia noticed one recurring man waiting around in this crowd? We stopped for eggs and bread and vegetables as we reached the appropriate tents. Talia made the purchases while I continued to keep an eye out. So far, no one was looking suspicious. Or everyone was. In a place like Broton, it was hard to tell. I wish we'd taken the time to get some more information from Melia before we left. For all we knew, this was the off day and no one was going to show up. I hated the idea of going yet another day of making no progress. We started walking again, and I kept an eye out as we moved into a new area of the market. I knew there was a tavern somewhere around here, so maybe we were getting close. Wait a minute, Talia said, coming to a sudden stop. I stumbled to a halt beside her. What is it? I think that's him. By the statue. Talia tilted her head in the direction of an ancient crumbling statue of a man no one actually knew. I followed her gaze and saw a single silhouette standing at the base of it. He definitely appeared to be waiting for something. Or someone. All right, let's get a little closer, I said, starting forward again. Careful, Talia said. Don't worry, I won't get too close, I promised. I stopped again, where I was somewhat shielded by a tent, but now I had a much better view of the statue. I could see the man under it better, but couldn't make out much of his features except for a tuft of brown hair glinting in the lantern light. I took in other details instead, like his height and his build, and the clothes he was wearing, although that wasn't the best thing to rely on. What I really needed was a glimpse of his face. And now we wait, I whispered. What's your plan? Talia whispered in my ear. I nearly jumped. I hadn't realized she'd gotten so close. We're going to wait until he meets with whomever he's going to meet, and then we'll follow him to wherever he goes. With luck, he'll lead us straight back to the Darkheart's headquarters. But you heard what Malia said. She's not even sure these are Darkhearts. Well, we've just got to take a chance, I replied. Are you guys here to buy something or what? The owner of the tent demanded. I haven't got all day. This time, I really did jump.